All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating story about an underdog. It's a classic tale that proves true power absolutely doesn't always come in a giant package. We're looking at the mechanics of problem solving and, honestly, prejudice through this remarkable narrative called The Courage of Benny the Brave Little Rabbit. We're going to see exactly how a totally unsolvable obstacle was beaten, not by muscle, but by pure mind.
So think about this for a second. Have you ever been judged entirely on your appearance, or maybe kind of underestimated just because of your physical size? It's a universal experience, right? And it perfectly sets up our core theme here, brains versus brawn. Society so often conflates physical mass with capability. We just assume the biggest person in the room is naturally the best equipped to handle a crisis. But as we're about to see, that assumption, it can be dangerously wrong when real-world challenges actually strike.
Moving on to Section 1, meet Benny the Rabbit in his underdog status in the forest. Let's get into it.
Okay, so this sets up the dramatic contrast at the very heart of our story. On one side, we've got Benny. He's kind, he's super cheerful, and he literally just loves helping others. But there's a massive catch in the eyes of his peers. He is very, very small. Now, on the flip side, the larger animals in the forest basically equate physical size with importance and capability. Because of this baked-in prejudice, they completely dismiss Benny. They genuinely think he's just way too weak to do anything of real value. It's a tough spot to be in. Which brings us to Section 2, the river rescue crisis. Basically, an unsolvable problem. Picture this. It's a sunny morning, and suddenly, boom, a loud cry for help shatters the peace. The animals all rush over, only to realize that little Sally the squirrel is trapped on a rock smack in the middle of a fast-flowing river. She is completely stranded. The water is churning dangerously, and as the animals stare at her, there is absolutely no clear way to save her. I mean, the stakes have instantly skyrocketed to life or death. Now watch how incredibly fast traditional strength totally fails in a rapid crisis. First up, the deer steps in. The deer is tall, strong, right? But he fails because the water is just way too deep. Moments later, the agile, lightning-quick fox analyzes the situation, but he flat out refuses to cross because the current is way too strong. And then, total panic sets in. The biggest, strongest animals tried their absolute best physical approaches, and they completely failed. All those physical advantages are suddenly utterly useless against the sheer power of the river. All right, let's look at Section 3, a clever rescue plan and the big paradigm shift. So before a plan can even get off the ground, Benny hits a massive wall of prejudice. The larger animals actually scoff at him, saying, "You're just a little rabbit, what do you know?" It's incredibly frustrating, right? This highlights the absolute peak of the forest's bias exactly as Benny steps up. He's actually observing the environment, he spots a long fallen tree near the riverbank, and logically suggests using it as a makeshift bridge. But instead of listening to a perfectly viable solution, the larger animals actually laugh at him. They dismiss the idea out of hand purely based on how small he is. But Benny, he just completely ignores their laughter. He relies on clear observation and teamwork. First, he spots the natural resource, that fallen tree. Recognizing he obviously can't lift it alone, he enlists the beavers, the forest's natural builders, to help move it. Then comes the teamwork part. He gets all the animals to pull their physical strength to push the tree across the rushing water. And finally, the rescue itself happens. Benny bypasses his physical limitations entirely through observation, delegation, and smart coordination. It's like a giant puzzle, and he's the only one who sees how the pieces fit together.
Don't worry, Sally, you're safe now. Now here's the kicker. Benny isn't just some armchair tactician shouting orders from the dry riverbank. He actually braves crossing that newly formed, highly precarious log bridge himself to reach the terrified squirrel. He puts his own life right on the line. This proves his true capability and shows immense physical courage right where the bigger animals had literally frozen in fear. Slowly and carefully, he guides her back to safety, while the whole forest watches in awe.
And that leads right into Section 4, the big lesson learned, the resolution and the moral of the story. Later that evening, during the celebration, the wise old owl delivers a really powerful observation. He says, "Today, Benny showed us that courage and intelligence are more important than size. Never underestimate someone because they are small." This perfectly summarizes the core takeaway of our explainer. It's a definitive, undeniable statement from the wisest figure in the forest, officially confirming what we've just seen. Intellect, teamwork, and sheer bravery absolutely trump physical bulk every single time.
And this beautifully wraps up the whole narrative, revealing a total paradigm shift in the forest. The animals actually step up, apologize, and thank Benny. They fully admit their worldview was flawed. From there, Benny is elevated from an overlooked, tiny creature to a deeply respected forest hero who continues to help everyone out. And the ultimate takeaway here? Believing in yourself helps you achieve truly great things. It just goes to show the lasting, real-world impact of Benny's internal self-belief, even when dealing with so much external skepticism.